You know that feeling, right? That horrible, sinking feeling when your phone just dies or your printer jams right as you're trying to print something important. Well, today we are going to turn that frustration into a superpower. We are building your personal tech repair toolkit so you can solve these common problems yourself. Let's get to it.
Oh man, we've all been there. That exact moment your favorite piece of tech just gives up on you. Your phone won't charge, your laptop decides to freeze up just for fun, or the printer, well, it's a printer. It's doing what printers do. It really feels like you've hit a brick wall. But what if I told you there's a clear path right through it? And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. We're not just going to look at broken stuff. We are going to build the skills and, more importantly, the mindset to solve these problems. By the end of this, you're going to have a real system to diagnose and fix tech issues just like a pro.
So, you want to know the secret weapon every single professional technician has? I'll tell you, it's not magic, and it's definitely not just random guessing. It is a structured, repeatable method. The golden rule is simple. Stop guessing and start diagnosing with a system that takes you from what's wrong to it's fixed every single time. And we're about to learn it.
Okay, that's a lot of fancy words, I know, but what it's really saying is that our devices, our phones, our tablets, they're just getting more and more complicated. They're all mashed together now. To cut through all that complexity, you need a simple but really powerful method. So let's check it out.
And here it is. This is it, the 6-step troubleshooting methodology. This is your blueprint for fixing pretty much anything. First, you identify the actual problem. You ask questions. Then, step 2, you come up with a theory. Basically, you make an educated guess. Step 3, you test that theory, see if you're right. Step 4, you make a plan and you do the thing. You implement the fix. Step 5 is crucial. Verify that it actually worked and that you didn't accidentally break something else. And last but not least, step 6, document it. Just jot down what you found and what you did. This whole process is the absolute core of your new toolkit.
All right, enough theory, right? Let's get our hands dirty. We're going to take that awesome 6-step method and put it to work on the actual parts inside the phone or tablet you're probably holding right now.
So first up on the workbench is the heart of every mobile device, the battery. This is the little guy that makes everything else come to life. But when a battery starts to fail, it can show some, let's just say, very serious and even dangerous symptoms. And the number one thing you have to look for is a swollen battery.
So this takes us right back to our blueprint. Step 1, identify the problem. The most obvious and, frankly, alarming sign is a battery that's physically swollen. I'm talking about it puffing up like a little pillow, maybe even pushing the screen off the phone. Other signs? Your battery life is suddenly terrible, the device gets really, really hot, or it just flat out refuses to turn on. Okay, listen up, because this is super important. A swollen battery is not something you ignore or put off. If you see one, you jump straight to step 4, your plan of action. And that plan is simple. It's not negotiable. You power that device down immediately. This is a fire hazard, period. You don't try to fix it. The only solution is to get it replaced.
Okay, let's move on to the next component, RAM, which stands for Random Access Memory. The easiest way to think about this is as your device's short-term memory. It's what lets you juggle a bunch of apps at once without things getting slow. Now, when RAM starts to fail, the symptoms look completely different from a bad battery.
So how do you spot bad RAM? Well, you gotta look for performance problems. Does your system suddenly feel sluggish? Is it freezing up all the time? Maybe you're getting that dreaded blue screen of death or the spinning pinwheel of doom on your Mac. These are all classic textbook signs that your RAM might be the culprit. So how do we fix it? Well, we go back to our steps. It's time to test our theory. The plan is to swap out the RAM you think is bad with a stick that you know is good. If the problem goes away, bam, you found the cause. The fix is a replacement. But, and this is a big but, compatibility is everything. You have to make sure you get the right type, like a SODIMM for a laptop, and the right generation, like DDR4, or it just won't work. Okay, you're doing great. You're getting the hang of this. You know the method, you've seen it in action. Now, let's sharpen another skill that every great technician needs, being able to identify common ports and connectors just by looking at them. So, let's have a little fun. Time for a pop quiz. I'm going to describe a port, and you try to name it. You ready? Let's see what you know.
Okay, here we go. You can see the descriptions on the screen. Number 1, a small, reversible, kind of oval-shaped connector that's on almost everything new these days. Number 2, that special 8-pin connector you only find on Apple's iPhones.
And number 3, the rectangular port you plug your computer into for a wired network connection. Go ahead, lock in your answers. All right, pencils down. How'd you do? The answers are USB-C, Apple's Lightning connector, and the good old RJ45 or Ethernet port. Seriously, knowing these instantly is a huge advantage. It's all about pattern recognition, and it helps you figure out problems so much faster. All right, you've leveled up. You've diagnosed components, you've identified connectors. It is time for the final boss. Ah yes, the printer. The bane of every office worker and IT professional's existence. They are frustrating, for sure, but with our troubleshooting method, even they can be defeated. Let's walk through this.
Let's start at the very beginning. You click print, and then you hear crickets. Just silence. The printer is acting like it didn't hear you. It's completely unresponsive. Is that the problem you're having?
If the answer is yes, then we go back to basics. Don't overthink it. First things first, is it plugged in? No, seriously, check the power, check the USB cable, and definitely check the computer's print queue to see if a job got stuck. Sometimes just clearing that out fixes everything. If that's not your problem, let's move on.
Okay, so what if the printer is working, but the pages that come out look, well, awful? You know, they've got streaks all over them, the text is super faded, or you're seeing weird, faint ghosts of whatever you printed before.
If that's your problem, then it's time for step 2, make a theory. And I'll tell you, 9 times out of 10, your theory should be super simple. It's out of ink or toner. Now, on a laser printer, it could also be a bad imaging drum or fuser, but always check the toner first. If your print quality is fine, let's go to the last category. All right, our final set of problems. This is the mechanical and data stuff. That horrible grinding sound of a paper jam. Or maybe the paper won't even feed in at all. Or maybe it prints, but the page is just covered in total gibberish, like it's speaking an alien language.
Okay, if you're dealing with paper jams, look inside for the little rubber rollers that grab the paper. They get dirty or worn out over time. But if you're getting that weird, garbled text, that's almost always a data problem. Your theory should be that the printer driver on your computer is messed up. A quick update or reinstall usually fixes it. And just like that, you've systematically defeated the most common printer problems.
So look at what we just did. We learned the professional method, we diagnosed real-world components, and we even took on the final boss, the printer, and won. You now have the foundational toolkit for tech troubleshooting. These 6 steps aren't just for a test. They're your practical guide for solving real problems. So my question for you is, now that you have the toolkit, what problem are you going to solve first?